Hey, what's up guys? I know I made a video of this yesterday, but I decided to do this again because I felt after watching it a couple times that I may have been a little too harsh on the people and that I didn't give enough creative criticism, and also I didn't really show the tracks. Even the ones that didn't work, I didn't really show them. So I'm going to go ahead and do this again. So let's get started. Alright guys, so this first racetrack is called Near Impossible Racetrack by Unsnapped RV11. And one problem with this track is that it is not race compatible. So please, if y'all are making a racetrack, make it race compatible. Put checkpoints in there. Make them race_flag whenever you set up the details on it. If you don't know how to do all that type of stuff, just go onto YouTube. There's plenty of videos on it. Also, try to make it, whenever you make racetracks, try to make it to where you're not going to be flipping over a lot. That really hinders the racetrack, makes it very tough to race on, and sometimes it messes up the excitement and enjoyment of the racetrack. And also, don't make the racetracks span the entire Forge world. I know it's really cool to have one that long, but it really kind of gets a little bit boring after a while if you're racing through the entire Forge world. Alright, this map is called Snake Way by Mistress 8 with 2 X's on each side. This jump right here is actually, pretty good jump, except it would have been nice if the downside would have been a little bit angled so you wouldn't stop once you hit it. Again, there's a man cannon jump right there that you'll most likely flip and fall off your mongoose, which that is never good, in a racetrack. And this track also uses a lot of bridges, and it's just, don't use those because it really hinders the track. If you are going to use bridges, just flip them upside down so the railings aren't facing up, so you won't run into those. That would be a lot better. And try not to, in your track, make a lot of turns where you're going to have to slow down and come to almost a complete stop, because that really messes up the race feel of it. And I don't like using those right there that I was going through, those little spiral staircases, because you never go through those smoothly. I do like this little shield door bouncing part. I use that in my Harry Potter race, which those are always fun. And also, once you get on the ground over here, the track widens up, and that's always good. Get a little more room for multiple racers. And this part over here stays a little bit wide, but then it gets back to being single wide, which that's not necessarily bad on certain parts of your track, but you don't want to try to do that on the entire track. And also, try not to make your track span the entire Forge world. That just gets way too long.
Checkpoint reached.
Alright, this next track is called Roller Coaster Madness by Sony X95, and this track is also not compatible for race, so I had to do this in Slayer, and that's a big problem right there, especially if you're trying to make a racetrack. Make sure you make it race compatible. It's a lot more fun that way, in case if you fall off, you're able to spawn on the last checkpoint. But as you notice right there, I spawned inside a enclosed room. I wasn't actually able to go race the track, which this track also uses bridges, and that's a big no-no unless you flip them upside down. So let's go on to the next one. Alright, this next one is called Hardest MG Track Ever by helmethare, and this is a not too bad, pretty fun, like an achievement horse style map. He said it like he put it as a racetrack, which he shouldn't, like, I guess, like put it as a racetrack, because it's not really a racetrack. It's more of a challenge track or achievement horse track. So as a racetrack, of course, this isn't good, but as a achievement horse map, this is really fun. So if you want an achievement horse map that has to do entirely with a mongoose and has some really challenging parts, then by all means download this one. It is pretty fun as an achievement horse, and I make it till about the spot where you have to like pretty much grind your mongoose, and I always fail at that part, and it's just that part's pretty hard, and this part right up here, and that part's pretty hard. The rest of it doesn't look too difficult. That looks like it's going to be the hardest part on it. So if you get past that part, I guess, then you can actually make it through the whole thing. That part actually looks a little bit difficult. I haven't made it to that. But, if you wanted a good achievement horse map, I suggest downloading this one. It's pretty fun. And, alright, I guess on to the next track. This next track is called Race of Life by, I guess his name is RHUK George, I don't know. But this one is not race compatible either, and so I had to do it in Slayer, which I tried in a bunch of different game types, but I keep on dying anytime I spawn. So he needs to really get that fixed and worked out in order to at least let people race this track. I let it go for a little while to make sure, like I'd eventually spawn at where he wants, but it still doesn't work. So, I guess we'll just go look at the track as the monitor in theater mode, so be able to see what it is like. And it looks like another one that uses a lot of bridges on here. And again, that is a big no-no. Don't use bridges. At least if they're faced upwards, you can flip them upside down and that'd be okay. He spells out meat there, which is interesting. I don't know why. But here's a little mine part, a little tricky. This map looks a little short, but I never got to try it out. Alright guys, this next one is called 20-minute long race by Klopstort. And I don't know why anyone would want to race a 20-minute long race. That is a really long time. I did race the entire thing, which I don't know, man, it just got really boring just racing for that long. Which of course I know the author, he actually meant it to be that long, but I don't know, it just got real tiring. And there's a lot of parts like this where you just have to stop, turn, keep going because you use bridges, which again are a big no-no. Don't use bridges. But there's some interesting parts like that little glass little thing right there. On that glass part, you just drive up the glass, and it's actually not too bad. It's pretty smooth. It's an extremely long race, as you know, 20 minutes. Over here, you actually go into a little cave that he made. It's actually more like a rock climbing cave with your mongoose, so you have to find the right path, which, that could always be pretty fun and very challenging. This is race compatible, and he did use kill boxes, so that's really good. This little mine part or fusion coil part, that was pretty cool. But pretty much if you want a 20-minute race, you can go download this one, but I wouldn't suggest it just because it's so long. Alright, so this next one is called Tough Race by Silmore NL. Sorry if I'm saying y'all's names wrong. Some of them are kind of difficult, I'm not sure how to say them. But this one, that first part right there, he used inclines for the thing, and it would have been better if you wouldn't have put the railings up on the side. Just a little more fun if, you can knock some people over. But this cave isn't, it's always fun to go in a cave and everything. It's always interesting. But the cave has too many obstacles that can make you flip, so you have to go real slow over them. So I suggest maybe, removing some of the obstacles like the rocks on the bottom. And then this main canyon, you're most likely going to flip on it. That's why I suggest not ever using man cannons, which of course sometimes you have to, but try to make it to where you land pretty smoothly on there. And again, this race is extremely long. If you're making your first racetrack or first couple, don't make them span the entire Forge world. It just gets gets too long, way too long. for that long, for that race. So please don't make it, that long. I know this race actually took me about 10 minutes to do. So, but luckily this race was actually pretty open in most parts. He actually used inclines coming up here, which that's good. It looks more like a racetrack, and it is race compatible, which that's also really good. A lot better than some of the other ones. So, just there's some few things that needs to improve upon, like not making it span the entire Forge world. And that's pretty much it for this one. Alright guys, this next one is called Ridge Road by Plasma727. And that was an amazing start. I love that beginning of it. Don't really see that too often. And this is mainly a terrain track. So it's not going to be like the most exciting track, which most just only like terrain style tracks are. But it is a well-made map. I don't know what that little leaning pipe thing is supposed to be. But added a little bit of aesthetics in there, so that's always good. And it's not that bad of a terrain track. I would have, of course, liked a little more jumps, because jumps are always more fun in some maps. And but it's not that bad. It doesn't get too narrow in places. Except for a couple places, it gets kind of narrow. He puts those shield doors there, so you won't be going too fast over that little lip there. And it goes into this cave, which the cave isn't actually that bad, because it mainly just goes straight through the cave. It doesn't actually have to, you don't really have to turn that much at all. I'm not sure what that is over there. Maybe just adding a little more aesthetics or something, or a viewing platform. He has a little face on the side of the cliff, which is always nice, something to look at. And that's pretty much the entire track. So, I would recommend downloading this one. It's probably
Checkpoint reached.
Alright guys, this next one is called Racetrack by itsAndrew360. Love the gamer tag. But again guys, don't call your races just Racetrack or something. Just think of a name. It doesn't have anything to do, it doesn't have to have anything to do with the actual racetrack or anything. Like, I know one of mine was called Valkyrie, which I just thought that was a cool name, so I decided to use it. This track could be a little confusing. It does use some bridges, like tight spaces in some spots, but it's mainly pretty open of a racetrack. It does span the entire Forge world, like literally the entire Forge world, which I recommend not doing because the race just gets pretty long. It is also not race compatible, so please, whenever you make a racetrack, try to get it race compatible. If you don't know how, I know there's a bunch of videos on YouTube that you can probably check out. So just look at those, and whenever you make your racetracks, just make sure at least they're race compatible. Alright guys, this track is called Epic Race by Lord Luck 101 or Lord Luke, I'm not sure which one. But in this track he actually uses some building blocks, which is good. He doesn't use walls except for whenever he goes inside that Coliseum area. That part is kind of interesting. It's with the mines. He made a little track out with the mines. That's always fun, having a little challenge in there. The track is a little bumpy, but it's probably not some amazing forger or something, but not too bad. Not too bad. Once you go into the Coliseum, that gets real, like you have to drive real slow, which that's the main problem about this track. So make sure you try to fix that one. Alright, so this next track is called Jaw Dropper by RLD Hot Tamale. I'm not really sure how to say this guy's name. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Hot Tamale, I'm not sure. But I don't know, this guy, he really needs to stop making roller coaster maps. Like, he must think he's good at making this map, but he really needs to, like, this map's horrible. Like, I don't know why someone would even make this map. It's like, come on, what is it, Hot Tamale? Don't make race maps anymore. You're not very good at. Maybe you should try your hand at Slayer maps or minigame. I don't know, but this one's just bad. Like, oh wow, it's just really bad. I'm just kidding. Y'all know I'm playing. But you know, this map is amazing. It's pretty much like it's extremely smooth. It's a roller coaster, so if you don't like roller coasters, you probably won't like this map. But it does have some jumps in it, which always makes it, you know, very interesting. A lot more fun than just, you know, typical roller coaster. And also remember, he has hidden Steve on, you know, or around the track. So make sure you go look and try to find Steve there. It's a pretty great spot to hide him. I won't tell you where he is or try to give you any clues, but it's a great spot. Be sure to, you know, try to find Steve. But again, this track is a great track. I love the huge U-turn on here. The very first one is extremely steep, and it's a lot easier if you bounce off those shield doors at the beginning, and then you jump through those like 6 hoops, and that's always awesome. And this track is huge. You won't be able to see one end of the track from the other end. And also, this track is BattleTracks compatible. So that makes this track even better since it's BattleTracks compatible. Go download it. Alright, so this next one is called Amazing Race by Reception. And it's actually, you know, it's not that bad of a map. There can be some improvements, like the, I don't know, put multiple man cannons right there on that part, so everyone won't be funneling into one spot unless you meant to do that. So, you know, whoever gets that will get into the lead. It's a smooth track. There's a couple bumps, like whenever you're leveling out off of coming, you know, off of a ramp or something. But out here, it would have been a lot better. Instead of just having a turn, I would suggest maybe putting a jump or at least some aesthetic things into it. He has a jump coming up right here, which that's always good. This part confused me just a little bit because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to turn right there or keep going around. But, you know, it's overall not that bad of a track. There's sometimes the track intersects with the track you're riding on, which that could always cause a problem. Like right here, you'll see that bridge, you know, intersects with it. So be sure to maybe fix that in the future, but not a bad track. Alright, this next one is called Racing in Natureland by Waylay Dude. I thought this was going to be something like you're racing throughout, you know, aesthetically forged like nature stuff and everything. So I was a little bit disappointed whenever I got on the track. I thought it was going to have a lot of nature style things in it. But this is mainly just pretty much like a normal, I guess, a normal track. I don't really see the nature aspect of it except for whenever you race on the island, but that's only a small part of the entire track. So, and it uses a lot of bridges and everything, and again, that's a big no-no. Don't use bridges unless you flip them upside down. And this also this also goes the entire Forge world, which is an extremely long race. Took me about, I don't know, 8 minutes to do. So, and that's it. Alright guys, so remember I am reviewing these as a racetrack. Sorry I got this out a little late. I know it's the next day. But please rate and definitely subscribe for more. And leave a comment down below what you think and what are some things I should improve upon.